Right, so just getting the socials on, and let me just now put on Facebook a description. So enchanted forest. Enchanted forest. Step by step. Okay, there we go. Done and go live. Right, so we have all three socials on. So hey up me duck. You all right, Dawn? Trudy, Susan, Rach, look at you all blasting in tonight. You're loving this then, ain't you? The background stuff. How's that? Let's just put you in the picture, so to speak. Hello. All right, hello. So we've got Insta, as we normally do, over here. Instagram. YouTube is above. YouTube gets the best view. So wherever you are, if you can get onto my YouTube channel and interact, even better. But YouTube gives you the best view because you see it as it is. Hello to anybody that's on Facebook. Yes, there is somebody on Facebook. Fabulous. Let me just say, well, I can't fix my screen on there. Right, I have got my laptop on, so let me just refresh my laptop so if anything goes off, I can see comments. So I'm trying to get everything covered tonight. There we go. Because I have said I will answer comments tonight as well. So I have actually got the live on. Go me. Anything? There we go. Hi, Stephanie, Lynn, Charlotte, Alison. Hello, my darling. Heather, hi. Rach, hi. So I have comments. Woohoo. Hi, Sylvia. Ali. Hello, everyone. There we go. Just so in real time. There you go. Hello, everyone. Susan, hi. Michael's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Chris, fabulous. Right, so this is the best view. Like I say, the overhead. Let me just tilt you up like so. Okay, so what I'm going to do moving forward is all the lives I'm doing. Hi, Marie. All the lives I'm going to do is going to be a breakdown step by step of how to achieve what I've done. Now, I didn't know how to take this actually because somebody actually commented on this picture. Have you actually done that from scratch? So I said, yeah, they have. Please feel free to watch. You'll see me do it from scratch, as you do. And I thought, in one sense, it's a compliment. And then in second sense, I'm not somebody that will just slap a background in and do a couple of stamps. That's not my style. So you lot can see from scratch, because there's my start today. Yeah, you can see I've just done a little pencil drawing. And I'll go through this with you in a minute. I'm going to go through exactly what I'm using. I'm going to go through the breakdown of the picture. From now on as well, every time I do a post, I'll put you a reference picture that you can print off, that you can have beside you while you're crafting along with me. Okay, so in real time, I'm going to recreate this. The only difference tonight is instead of adding a fairy, we're going to go on A5 and I'm going to add a stag. So that means this area here may be a little bit lighter, so we get that nice dramatic stag sort of here. Sort of thing. Okay, so I will alter it, as you do, to however it goes. So the reference picture. So what I've done on that, obviously the colours, when you print some off, depending on what your printer's like, the colours will look different. So I've obviously got 20 million phones because I've got all different things on the go, but I look at the colours and then I see what's close to the colours I've got now. With this being a green, I wanted it to pop. So I obviously, your work especially is Lance. Oh, thank you very much, Diane. I'm glad. I think I'm back, Diane. Yeah. The medication's helping. To be fair, I will tell you my work has changed. And I've put it down to the fact that I'm actually off work at the moment. And I actually think that's why my work's changed, because the pressures of what I deal with are not there, so my work has blossomed. And yes, this is from scratch and this is my work. Okay, so I'll go back to how I was thinking with the reference. Okay, so I'm just going straight in tonight. So I wanted this to sort of pop, so I thought I'll add a little bit of yellow in, which I've done squeezed lemonade, but you can use any yellow. And if you're using Lavinia colours, the elements, then obviously Sundance is your yellow. Okay, so then I looked and I thought to myself, what colours would complement this scenario? So off the top of my head, I looked at my colours that are all nicely stacked in my little things I've made, and I picked these: Twisted Citron, Crackled Pistachio, Peeled Paint, and Rustic Wilderness. Now, you know me, you've got to have a light, a medium, and a dark, and that covers that with that little overlap. We need the sunshine back, don't we just? Dear me. And then in that, I then thought to myself, well, this colour here is definitely peacock feathers. Are you doing to meet yourself coming backwards? Yeah, something like that. No, I'm chilled now. I'm in a good place now. So as you can tell with my work, you can always tell my work where I'm at, if you get what I mean. So peacock feathers was here, and then I put Mermaid Lagoon, Uncharted, and obviously black soot. And those are the colours, oxides, that I'm going to be using tonight. Now, I have also got Midnight Blue in Elements, because I will be doing some water movement as well. Mermaid and Lime Punch, obviously. And I will be blending them on a brush as well as a water brush. Okay. So, how I broke that down, I looked into this picture, and as you can tell on here, I sketched out just with pencil, roughly, that sort of idea. So I've got a line across here, I've got these little angles coming down, and I've got this pool area here, yeah, and that's roughly where I've put sort of a pool area and then banks and that sort of line. And the card is tatty, and I'm not too worried because you ain't going to see any of it. All right, so this is A5 super smooth, obviously a piece of A4. I've cut it in half. Hi Terry. So, you know, and that's it. So then I've looked at the card and I thought, well, what trees represent or resemble what I can see? Now, I went in my Lavinia stash and I have found out the following. Now, I did put a picture on, and all you hardcore Lavinias will know all the names of these, but them days are long gone for me, and I'll pick out what I like now, and I haven't got to worry about naming it or saying. The only difference this time is I've added a couple of ferns in and the stag. Okay, so we've got the stag, and I've done a couple of ferns just in case I want to put some ferns around the stag, because I don't know how it's going to go. So this area here, that back, now bear in mind I'm thinking about the layers. So that area, the back layer, is that on mine. Yep. So as you can see, I've not wiped it off, but I just put black Nocturne on that, and that's those bits there. Okay, and then the tall bit, I've done one or two things actually. I've done this pine there, and I also use this one. Okay, so I just sort of created a little bit of a movement. I've done second, third, fourth generation, and then I thought, well, depending on what stamps you've got, you could also use this one and have it here. And I'd done that one on this one here, so you can see that there with how it came across. Okay. And then the smaller ones, obviously you've got smaller in the background, and that just builds up a little bit more. And then I obviously put a little bit of my favourite grass on, just to give it that backdrop. And the difference I've done on this one to the picture, because in the picture it's just green, just grass basically. So what I decided to do for my little touch as such was I then put on, see these like little mushrooms and the little foliage. I just added the mushrooms in around here, and then on the larger one, because we've got a bigger play area, I actually put the mushrooms, then I put those little bits of foliage. Now, if you haven't got these little branch sort of little foliage sets, you can use the top of a flower. So again, you can just dot it around, and I will use different things to show you that just because something looks like that, it's not got to be used as it. Okay, and I love doing that. And then on this one, where you can see like these, where I've got the areas of like bits of green, I actually use this. Now this is, I think it's in the spring trees, and that is basically that layered several times, and then obviously we're going to build up with different colours. So when you actually break down and you look at what I've done here, you can actually see it's only a couple of stamps. On that one I just put a little bit of a reflection on, and it's just down to the detail that you put in. And obviously the twinkles is a mixture of bleed proof, the white. You can use Charles and Dewar pastels. You can use pastel pencils. I'm using a lot tonight just to show that you can use a mixture of stuff. Hello, beautiful sis. Hello to Meggie Moos. Hugs and kisses. And I absolutely adore your pan pastel piece that you've just posted. Absolutely spectacular. So if you haven't seen it, get yourself into the nice crafting mashup group. Amanda's just posted a beautiful pan pastel design in the group. So anyway, without further ado, let's crack on because we have a lot to do. So I'm gonna, obviously everything I'm using is Lavinia, which I know is very surprising, but it just suits this particular, you're very welcome, this particular theme that I'm doing at the minute. You know, I could well use some sweet poppy stamps or nice crafting or whatever, Andy Skinner, you know, cosmic shimmer, whatever, you know, but you use what you've got. And if you feel it's relevant that you want to put a fairy in it, or you feel that you want to put something else in it, you know, a robot or whatever, or just leave it as that, you know. So as I go, we'll actually create this, and then towards the end we're going to add that stagging. Okay, so I'm going to have my reference picture. So this is my reference picture, and that's what I'm going to go off, and that's what I'm hoping that you're going to have a follow along with tonight. So I'm going to put my couple of pictures that I've already done sort of around and about, just to give me added reference, because then I've got reference everywhere to look at. And I am going to move these about. Now let me put the stamps over there. I'm going to put this under here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've gone through the inks I'm using. I'm just going to quickly show you. I've got a toothbrush just in case I want to do white splatters, but I maybe just do it all by hand today just to show you, because a lot of you are finding it a bit difficult with the toothbrush splatters. The brushes I'm using are number 7s. So I've got a yellow, a light blue, dark blue, a black and a green. And I've got a small number 3 black. So that's the brushes I'm using. And then I do have my detail brush, and this one is the 15/0, and that's about a centimetre there, and it goes in my gob. And if it doesn't come together nicely, then it goes in the bin. Plain and simple, but so far so good. Right, so I've also got good afternoon, Mama, the devil are you. I've also got a skewer. Now I'm trying to do different ways of you getting different dots and things, but so I'll show you that later. I've got some Gioconda pencils, pastel pencils, white, black and a light, 2 different greens which complement the piece perfectly. Absolutely brilliant. So if you've got some pastel pencils, get them out. I've also got my Mondelez watercolor pencils, and I've got a black, couple of greens and a couple of greys, which will really come in well. And I should really do a white, but I think the white will leave to the bleed proof. So that's exactly what I'm using. The majority will be, oh bless, yeah, bless her. The majority I will be using fresh water in my water brush. Yes, perfect. And I've also got just a jelly roll. I mean, you can do, there's that many different ones, but I just want to show you the difference using things like this. So let's have a play. Let me just put stuff out the way over here. Let me get back over. I've also got just so you can see exactly what I'm using, I've just got a piece of it's just like a piece of Perspex realistically, a large stamping A4 stamping block, and I'm going to use that if I want to do any mixing of inks or anything like that. I've got that there, so I'm just going to keep everything over there. I've also got a scrap bit of paper which I can obviously mark off and do instead of masking, because sometimes masking takes forever. So A5, here we go. A5 paper piece of card, and it is Pink Frog Super Smooth. Now, as I said, when you start out, this is a lot of things when people don't show you. So, you know, when you see all these people creating everything, everybody has a reference picture, whether it's something in your head, something you've seen, or something that you look at and you think, oh, that's really pretty, I want to have a go at that. Yeah, so print it off. So whatever size. Obviously I printed another picture off because I had the stormy one, which I'd done the other day. So to save what's it, so obviously I printed those 2 off. We've done that the other day, and this is what we're doing today. So you print it off, you look at it and you break it down. So how I've broke it down is, as I've said, I've drawn a line across here, yeah, and that will be here. So it's quite high up because bear in mind I want to put a stag on this one, so I want the stag about there. So I've got to sort of adjust this accordingly because, oh sorry, I'm bound to bump into somebody today. And then what I've done then is I've just brought down just these little areas here, and obviously I've got my water coming here, water coming around there, and that. So basically all I'm doing is just scooting off a couple of these areas, thinking where is it going to be, and obviously your main bit. So you're sort of doing a rough guided design with the pencil first, okay? So then once you've done that, it's time to play with some ink. So I'm going to put my reference where I can see it. Forget about your stamps at the minute. So forget them there. We'll cover them and hide them out the way. So the first thing I want to do is, you know that you always start with your light colours first. Now, I have re-inked these, so I dread to think what we're going to get on my brush. All right, so this is going to be fun. That's all I'll say. So the picture is a lot of green. Now, I am going to put, in fact, actually, I'm not going to put the yellow on yet. I'm going to start off with Twisted Citron. And the reason being, as I say, I have re-inked these. So I don't know how in your face they're going to be when I put it down. And I don't want to have a big blob of yellow to then think, ah, don't like it. All right, so just telling you as it is. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is I want that light area here. So, oh yeah, it's gone on all right. Okay, so you know how I am about that sort of curve of the brush. That's the most important bit. So I'm now looking for this light green area, and all I'm going to do is sort of wisp it around. Allow your ink, your oxide or your elements or whatever you're using to naturally blend off itself. So you've got that nice light bit of colour there, and whatever you do there, you've got a water reflection here. So that's important, not to forget your water inflection. Your water reflection, not infection. You don't want a water infection. Goodness me. Mind you, the older you get, the more you get. But there you go. We'll leave that one there, shall we? Right, so that's Twisted Citron. Now, this is all about layers. So I am going to just put a little bit. I'm going to teeter around with this. I know I've got squeeze lemonade, but whatever yellow you've got, you only need a bit. All right? And I just want to just brighten up, only slightly, that middle bit there. And I'm just going to do the same on the reflection at the bottom. Yeah, exactly. So that's that done, yeah? So that's two colours done already. So we're now going to go on to Crackled Pistachio. I love this. Now, I know that I've really inked this one. I love it. Oh, you're making me chuckle. Right, so this has gone on really well. Now, the majority, I feel, is literally Crackled Pistachio. So I do want a fair bit of this on the piece. Now, just remember the importance of that dome on there. Remember how I said about found some new stickers? Have you? Oh, yeah, I can see. I love them. They're brilliant. So go into your yellow and your green and out, but you still want to keep that sort of, how can I explain it? It's sort of like cloudy-esque. So you keep that sort of, I don't know, fluffiness. I don't know how, would that be how I describe it? You know what I mean. Well, whatever I'm showing you. That's what I'm trying to describe. Oh, dear me. So I'm going to bring it just around there, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to blend it out. So again, whatever's on your brush, just take it out. Just take it off your brush so you've got that green band coming off, yeah? So you can all see, everyone can see, yeah, brilliant. So I'm now going to put some green down the bottom, because don't forget what you've got up here, you're going to bring down here, okay? So again, I'm just going to, there was only a slight bit on that. You don't need too much to balance that trajectory, okay? That was a big word for this time of the day, wasn't it? So same brush again. I'm going to go on with my peeled paint. Now, I am thinking around these areas here now, because I'm going to add blue at the top. Surgery tomorrow. Oh, blooming neck roof, that's come round quick. So peeled paint. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to sort of scoot over that sort of area where I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, I'm going to have a bit of greenery in here. And bear in mind, these have all been re-inked. So I'm going to sort of be able to see things, and it's not. So it's going to sort of come and go now, because of just have that idea in your head where those lines are that you're guided and you're following. Okay. Now, remember how I said, trust the process, yeah? And this is where, this is not going to look anything like the finished product, but this is your first layer. And remember, it's layers. This isn't, you know, you could look at this and think, crikey, really, Lisa, what you doing, you know? But no, this is a layer process, okay? So we have now got Rustic Wilderness, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this darker green just in places. And again, I am looking at the reference picture to think of where things are now. So as you can sort of see, I've got the balance of two edges, and then I've got a bit of a balance in here as well, okay? And then the trees will do their own little thing. And then down here is dark blue, yeah? Yes, we wish everybody good luck for tomorrow, Ruth. I hope everything goes well for you, my sweet. So I'm now going to go up to the top bit and start playing around with what's left. So we've got peacock feathers. Now, this colour in with everything else sort of will start bringing your picture alive now, okay? So what we want to do is we want to just start bringing that darker element in, because bear in mind, we're going to have all the trees up there. We just want this cosmic sort of area. So this bit will sort of set you in good stead, really. So I want to just bring it down here. So I'm looking at the reference picture now. So we've got this bit of blue down here, and it's going to be the same again. So I'm going to start over here and I'm going to bring it down, and it's sort of that sort of motion down here where you look, and that's sort of there. And then up and around here, obviously it's dark blue, but you want to just bring some of that blue in, some of your peacock feathers, just in different areas. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, nah, crumbs, I can't do that. You can, right? I've seen some of the stuff that you're posting proves it, because at the end of the day, you're all out your comfort zones and you're all having a go. So to me, it's a win-win situation already. You know, so you're already surpassing what you thought you could have or cannot do. So I've just added a little bit of blue here, but I'll obviously add the darker blue in a minute. Now, that was your peacock feathers. Still on the same brush, but I'm now going to go onto a darker brush. So let me just put that blue there. And that's Mermaid Lagoon. So I'm just going to add this into places. Again, this is just to add a little bit of depth, a layer. And I'm going to bring it around here. Bless. I'm sure we can light a candle and get you all sorted and pop everything into the elements, my darling. There we go. Bit of dark here and there. So that blue just balances up just a couple of little places. And if you think about where your yellow and your other bits are, you can quite easily, whatever's on your brush, just blend it and bring it around again if you need to have that area moved, yeah? Right, so now we're going to get Uncharted. And as I said, I'm still on my dark brush. Now this is literally going to, now I've re-inked this, so this should be all proper, like intense, but we'll see. Yep. Oh, hey, oh, what a difference a re-ink. What re-inking does, dear, 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 dear. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that down. So this is quite heavy now. And obviously I'm going to put some black soot over this in a minute. So let's just pop this on here. Right, and we're going to put a bit that darker bit here as well. And then I'm going to bring it around here. Now don't worry if it just looks a blobby mess, because it's going to. We're going to start a bit of a Picasso thing here, you see. but don't worry. We need like we need a Tony Hart moment. We need like that background music. We need morph in the background or something, don't we? Right, so I'm going to get black down. I'm going to structure where my darker elements on this piece is now, and then we can start actually doing something to start layering it now. Oh yay. Woohoo. Right, okay. As I said, I have actually re-inked, so I was used to my pads with no ink. Oh dear me. Isn't it strange when you start re-inking stuff? Right, okay, so this is going to come over here. So this is just like, again, drawing with your brush, basically. So I know there's going to be dark here. And then we're going into that dark cloud sort of area. And I'm going to put some black into that. But when we move it around with the water brush, it'll look totally different. So at the minute, we're sort of framing what's there. So this is exactly how it starts. So we have a lovely mess going on. So let me just turn that over there and put that there. So that is what you should end up with now, putting on the layers with your brush. Now, I appreciate some of you were following, and I forgot to say I'd go slow for you. So apologies there. Okay, so I'm going to let you catch up. Hopefully you're all sort of playing along, but sometimes not thinking about it and just putting it down is the better option. Can you buy it? Yes, you can. Right, so I've brought all my re-inkers, and I have re-inked all of my oxides, and I have put them all in my nice little my little things. So look at them, look at them, look at them. And I've brought all of them, so they're all in different colour codes for what I use. So yeah, you can buy all your re-inkers. There's plenty of different places. Look around for the cheapest, which you feel gives you the best value for money. I must admit, I did buy today. Well, I had a delivery today, and that was into craft. And I brought a load of Cosmic Shimmer, different paints and stuff like that. But they were fantastic value. So fantastic service, very quick, very, very good service. So I'd recommend them all day long. But yeah, I buy a lot of my stuff direct from Ranger, but there's loads. I love Take Heart. I actually had stuff on the picture gallery too. How about that? And I won a competition in Tiswas. Yeah, and I went up to the studio to collect my prize. Yeah, and that was an art thing as well. So, how good's that? They're nice. My art started at a very young age. Right then, so, water brush. Now, all I'm going to do is map out with a water brush. So there is no sort of, oh, this is going here, that's going there. This is dead simple. Water, check you out, Dawn, honestly. We're around, Amanda, we're around royalty here, and we didn't realise it, hey? She's been on the telly and everything. Wow, love it. Right, I'm going to put my things here. Honestly, isn't it just a blast from the past? Yes, I was on telly a long time ago. Right then, so all I'm going to do is, oh, good job I did there. What's it that? Let's have a look. So I'm going to make sure I've got nothing on my brush to begin with, which might help. So I've got, there we go. So I say clean water. It doesn't look very flipping clean, does it? That's what happens when you were painting with what's it earlier. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I know, that's the only problem. They're great though, re-inkers are, because you can use them to paint straight direct with, as well as obviously re-inking. That's what they're used for. Okay, so let's crack on. So I am going to put in sort of this water area here. So the first thing I'm going to do is sort of, well, just wiggle it around really, you know me and my wiggles. So I'm just going to bring in that area where I think that's going to go there, and then I'm going to bring that up here. Now I can bring it down, I can bring it around if I need to. So I'm going to do that there. I'm going to bring this over here, bring it down. I'm going to bring another one here, and then that's where that sort of skyline is here. Now I'm going to wipe it off so you can sort of see. Hopefully, there we go. Right, so I had some mini distressed. I'm still sending in my artwork. Yeah, me too. Love it. Oh, dear me. So for me, no, it's just made me chuckle. That has. We're still playing there. Get on there on the art gallery. I love it. Oh dear. Actually, that brings back some fabulous memories, to be fair. Right, so I'm going to bring up a little area here. Now, all I'm doing is looking on the reference picture, roughly what's where. The phantom flang flinger, yes, I know. And used to do the dying fly. Love it. Ah, the memories. That's all I'll say, the memories. So now you've got something that's sort of resembling some sort of Picasso artwork, realistically. Now, I do want to just plug in my dryer, because you are going to sort of skip along a couple of different processes. So let me just now, you can do wet on wet if you wanted to, which means yeah, Tiswas, I loved it. I've been on Tiswas, it was brilliant back in the day. Oh dear mate. Right, so I'm just drying that off nice and quick, basically, and I'm going to try and do it where I'm not knocking any cameras, right, which I've, hey, goodness me, go me. So I'm just making sure my card's lying flat. Now, let me move those over there. Let me mop that up out of the way. I need more space, you know. I need an art studio, I've decided. Right, I'm going to start stamping now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Right. So I've got like an oblong piece of thin, like I say, I've got loads of different stamping blocks, and I know it's unusual for me to use a stamping block, but I am actually going to use it. And I have also got both of my old VersaFine, which I can actually re-ink, and I'm not because I like it being the old one. And then I've got my normal Nocturne, which is my juicy one as such, but it will be even more juicier when I decide to re-ink it. So the first thing I want to do now, Meg's shouting, oh hello Auntie Lisa, Maggie Moo, love you. There we go. Whoa, I love it. We have to, well, everyone send Maggie Moo big hugs and kisses, plain and simple. There we go. Right, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now, this is a fabulous tree block, and it's got very much detail, but I only want that section there, because the first thing I want to do is break down that back area here. Okay, so you can see there's trees in the distance, so this is where we're now going to break down those steps. Okay, so I mean, you can put it like so if you wanted to, and then you can cover it up with a piece of scrap paper. Big sloppy kisses, that's the one. Hi Nettie. That's exactly what she did, Debs. Bless her. So all I'm going to do now is there we go, tap tap tap, tiddly dum dar, and I'm going to have a look. Like I say, I have got a piece of scrap paper, and I'm just going to put it down here, and roughly here is where I want to stamp. So I'm going to do first generation, take it off, and then I'm going to bring it up. Remember the PJs. Oh, hello. Oh, crumbs, I'm bumping into you guys. So all I've done there is, as you can see, there you go, people. Don't worry about that not printing there, because we're going to have other stuff going on there. It's just a layer, okay? So this has not got to be perfect or anything along those lines. So I'm going to do the same over here, because I want to replicate this area here, okay? So for all of you guys which are new and sort of wondering how to sort of recreate things, it's all about your layers, and don't be shy to be a little bit adventurous and have a go. So I'm going to go about middle, like so. Well, it's more towards the end really, isn't it? And then here, because we've got a little bit of something going on, all I'm going to do is just bring it over, and I'm just going to do a second generation stamp there, little bit, yeah. And then whatever's left on here, and there is something, I'm just going to bring it up. Never going to buy PJs later on. Oh dear me. I dread to think. So we have got sort of little bit different, but again, but that's all you needed to do. I mean, that is a lovely stamp. All our thumbs up buttercups. Yeah, I forget honestly. So all of you that are tuning in, please don't forget to give me the thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, all that nonsense, you know what I mean. Thank you so much for joining me as well. I know there's plenty of other things that are going on at the minute, and it's nice for you to join me this evening, so thank you. So yeah, however many there, give me that thumbs up sort of thing. It'd be really great for me, so thank you. Right, so now we're going to get this tree, which fits nicely on there. Okay, now I think this is a fern or something like that, but like I say, there was a day where I could give you all the numbers, the names, the lot, but unfortunately it's a tree now. You can see what it looks like, so I'm sure you can search for it. Okay, so I am now going to start replicating these areas here at the sides. Okay, so again, first and second generation, thank you guys, I really appreciate it. And I'm going to look where I've put my pretend sort of mounds in the distance sort of thing. Okay, and I'm going to start about here, and I'm not too worried about sort of getting it all in. However, I do want to look and think to myself, I just want to sort of get a decent chunk in. So I'm doing first, second and third generation there, and that gives you those trees the depth. Okay, now I'm going to do the same again over the other side. So you're balancing it up, but you're not, because we don't want it looking the same, because on the picture none of it is the same. Again, I've done some little watermarks where I think I want something to be. And again, I'm just going to put it in. You know, don't be shy. Let me move things around. And again, I'm not going to get the same height as such, but I am going to do first, second, third generation. And I'm going to move it down as I do, because it just gives you that added depth. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of some. Can you see it's starting to take shape now? Yeah. And that's just off that. Now, I might come back to that. I might not, but I'm going to put it over there out the way. So when I look now in the picture, I've got this tree here, which could actually resemble a little bit of that there. But bear in mind, there's quite a thick trunk on this. So we can sort of do a little bit of that there, but just be mindful of the trunk now. So if you don't want a big juicy trunk, because this is quite a good size, and it goes obviously in size with the tree, so it's all in proportion, but it might not be what you want. So what I suggest you do is get your little bit of tissue, make sure it's stuck on, because I saw that moving, and I just want to take away, just dab in some of those harsh lines at the edge, so when it does print off, it's not sort of slapped on sort of thing. I hope that makes whoa, that was a close one. I'm just gonna plonk that on. There you go. So if it comes off, don't worry. So I'm gonna put it about there, I think. Yes, I'm gonna put it about there. Now if it comes off, there you go, it's fell off. There you are. Let's put it back on. There you go. So I'm actually gonna stick it on now and take it off. Voila. So we've got that print there, but I'm going to build up there. That's why I'm not worried about that. So I know you ain't going to see it. So you've got a little bit of tree in the background, because I'm going to have my little trees to hide it all out the way. So I've got that lovely sort of tree, and I'm going to do sort of very similar over there. And I might even just do that tree top. So on this one, you could just do a floating tree. So again, I've just done that top area. Now, if you obviously, it looks like mine's lost its sticky. So all I'm going to do now is just pop it there like so. And again, I'm just going to push it down to stamp it on. And then it should just come off. There we go. Now, I'm just going to put it up a little bit there, actually. So that's second generation. And I don't mind that, actually, because that looks quite nice. And the tree goes there roughly where I've actually got that little embankment happening. So that's worked out quite well. I was quite lucky with that. And if not, I would have turned it into an embankment realistically. So you always go with whatever it is you're creating. Now, while we're at this stage now, we're going to start looking at where we're going to start putting foliage and things like that. So originally, we'd got like the tree bit, we'd got little mushrooms, we've got another tree, and we've got that. So I'm going to get this other tree now, the smaller tree, and I think this is in a set. And I'm just going to wet it. So that's just, you know, what your nan would do to get some muck off your face, yeah? So I've just licked my fingers, and I've just, yeah, you know how it goes. And what I'm going to do now, go on, Sylv, fair play to you. What I'm going to do now is, obviously I'm going to do first and second generation, but I'm now looking at the background trees. So I will actually bring it down to here and just start filling in an area just as like a background sort of thing. And then you can sort of stamp on, stamp off in that sort of aspect. And again, I'm probably going to bring one over here and probably down here. And if you wanted just this, the trunk as a main, you can just bring your trunks in if you need to. And again, it's just like first and second generation. And because you've got that backdrop, you're not going to actually mess up any. But if you are, just put something down just so you're getting that trunk area. So if you do first and second generation, 2 or 3, and you see how it just gives you that sort of idea that you've got a lot of trees in one area sort of thing. And it's a great way of adding a little bit of extra depth without sort of doing a lot of over stamping in an area. Okay, now so that's actually building up really well, to be fair. And then all we can do now is just bring everything in together. That bit will take care of itself. So I'm looking at it now and just thinking, right, I want to start building up the little layers. Now I have got this lovely little delicate, let me move my tree. There we go, tree. Yeah, they are definitely, Diane. But also, Sweet Pop, you've got some really nice ones as well. Now, I'm going to finger stamp. For those of you that don't know me, I prefer finger stamping. I have more control over the madness that I create. So, all I'm going to do now is I've got little areas where I've created those sort of dips in the landscape. And all I'm going to do now is just tap away, just to give sort of an idea of foliage in the background. Now, if you haven't got anything like that, and you've got, say, for instance, like the foxgloves, for instance, you could just do the top, and you could do exactly the same as what I'm doing here with the finger stamping, and just do several over and just move it around. There's so many different stamps out there. We really are spoilt for choice on what you could use for this sort of enchanted. Lavinia are perfect for enchanted because that's exactly what Lavinia's all about. Fairies, enchanted, you know, all of that magicalness, yeah? So at the end of the day, you use what stamps you've got. So I'm going to go back to that little stamp because for me, perfect just to pop on my finger and just play around. And again, it's a case of you just being confident. And if you are confident, just bring those stamps down at your own pace now. And actually just start to build up a little area. Now, bear in mind, this one's going to be different because we've got a stag that we're going to be putting in as decided by you guys, yeah? So can you see now how I'm building this up where it's just literally, I'm just doing like really random stamping. And all I want to do around here is I'm going to get this again and I'm just going to bring it just so it looks like I've got a little bit of an edge line. And then we've got that going into the tree area. And I am going to be blending off with a brush and some paint and stuff. But again, I just want to bring it down. And fairies and dragons. Yeah. It goes on forever, doesn't it? Bless ya. There we go. Don't mention Lavinia. Here I wants to cut up my bank. Oh dear. Oops. I'm saying nothing. No matter what you follow, whatever your preference is, everything costs so much, you know. So at the end of the day, regardless of whatever it is that you're into, there's a cost involved. Right, so I'm going to get the little some little mushrooms now, and all I'm going to do here is exactly the same again. I'm just going to build up random stamping, because I know that you're not going to be seeing anything here. I am just going to just bring it a bit of a finger stamping is the best thing, honestly. Might put a bit of lightning in for you, Anthony. Every time I see your name pop up, I think of lightning. I don't know why. It's just one of them crazy moments. Oh dear me. I don't know. I've done something the once, and I'm sure you commented on something with lightning. I'm sure it was. I've always remembered you for lightning. Right, so I've done quite a few mushrooms around there. And again, you can add whatever you want at the end of the day. No, that was your fault. No, Anthony, no. I'll take full responsibility. It's okay. Now, I want to put my stag there. So I want to see him in that area. So I am actually going to put him in now. And the reason for that is if I want to add or darken it, I've got plenty of pencils or products that I can actually do to move him around. I just want to make sure he's going to stay on here. And I haven't got to get my contraption out and, like, you know, a misty or whatever. But I've got one of them. Yeah, the addiction grips you. Yeah, it does indeed. But yeah, I brought I call it the contraption, because Amanda talked me into, she's going to take full responsibility for it. Yeah, talked me into buying that Sissix. I call it a contraption because that's how I feel it is, but it's got its uses, so I'm not going to knock it. So it is useful for doing wreaths, and wreaths and some more wreaths. So I'm going to have you there, my little beauty. Right, let's see if he's going to stamp nicely in one. If not, and it doesn't stamp nicely in one, there's plenty of ways we can sort that out. Now, crafting is addictive, yes. Someone like this, way. Oh, got all the pan pastels. Oh gosh. Oh dear me. Well, you see, it's Heather. You need to sort of go on a direction where you like a certain product. Let's have a look. Woohoo! Oh, that ain't too bad. Oh, now look at that. Now, isn't that got a different feel to it, putting him down? Wow. Okay, so let me just add him, and then we can add the depth in. So let me just bit of finger stamping again. Let me just put a little bit of randoms in around here, as you do. Because this is going to be dark around here, it's pointless wasting your ink and like really going to town on certain aspects. It's nowhere close yet, Sylv. Nowhere close yet, sweetness. We're getting there though. Right, I am just going to put on. I'm going to just put a couple of little bits of yes, what they're called, ferns. Come on, Lisa, get a grip. And all I want to do is just build the bottom area here. I will be going back over this because I know when I start adding further oxides on, it'll look different. So yeah, that's given me that area that I want. So at the minute, I'm going to leave it like that. Right, so let me now just grab a little bit of black soot, just so we can pull this little bit of a bottom bit together. Now, because just remember, your VersaFine is still wet, so you can blend it really nice at the minute if you want to. You haven't got to. There we go. Like it. So, thunder size, it doesn't come a little lighter. Oh, crumbs almighty. Oh, thunder and lightning. Might actually put a bit of a lightning bolt in this, actually. It might actually bring some more depth to it. Anyway, let's just go back off onto the reference picture a second. Right, so let me put that over there. Let me try and keep me, I say try and keep my desk tidy, it don't happen. Right, so what I want to do now is actually bring in the green areas and actually start to pull everything together. So I am actually going to start Twisted Citron, I think. Right, let's have a look. So I'm going to start using the actual paint with the brush now and start putting it down a little bit in places. Thunder and lightning, my dog. Oh, my dogs hide. They can't be a bear in thunder and lightning. Oh, bless the poor little devils. So, oh, I don't know. We might have a storm coming here in Wolverhampton, actually. Right, so, beautiful. Oh, bless you. So all I'm doing now is I'm using Crackle Pistachio, my water brush, and I am just looking, because there's areas now which are quite dark in this, so I'm just going to put down a bit of green where I know that I want those top layers to be, because again now all we're doing is putting down layers, okay? And we can go over and we can stamp over different areas now to put in different depths of colour. So obviously when I do the lives like this, things normally turn out quite differently, similar but different, because I'm talking as I'm doing it. Normally when I'm at home, I'm just, you'll find me under the bed. I just sort of crack on and just do what I need to do, sort of thing. So I'm going to get a little bit of peeled paint. And again, I'm just mixing all these lovely colours together. Pulling them all into different directions. And when you start using your pencils, if you've got your watercolour pencils, you will really see the difference as it starts to pull everything together when you start adding, you know, your different colours on. Because when I put the watercolour pencils, I don't actually add water into them. I just leave them on as a top layer. And the effect's fabulous. I love thunderstorms. Oh, a storm chaser. How fabulous. Love it. Okay, so we've got a little bit of colour around here. And again, I'm looking at my reference picture to sort of try and pull different areas. Now, up here, obviously there's you've got green tree tops and stuff like that. I haven't put that area in yet. So let me do that now while I'm thinking about it. And I use that lovely little it was in with the tree, I'm sure it's the spring trees, and you've got that in a smaller round one as well, but this is perfect there just for getting these areas in. Now you can do it in with black soot if you want. I'm going to use it with Versa, and I am going to turn my card like so, because I now want to sort of have that sort of area in where here there's a tree. So let me pretend there's a tree here. So I'm actually going to invent with that stamp a sort of a tree trunk as such. Find that you're not even safe in a car. Oh, no. Yeah, you're not safe at all in a car when there's a storm. So I've put that black out, but I will black that out again in a minute. And what I want to do now is, as I'm looking, I actually want to bring in sort of an area where I'm going to say that sort of a bit of tree sort of effect here. And it's a bit of a weird one really, because it's just that sort of interpretation that you've got that tree there. So I've obviously turned it sideways now, and if you want to stamp it on a block, you go ahead and do that. You know, you do you. There's no right or wrong to this, but that's just giving me that sort of look of fullness of a tree. And all I'm going to do here is just do a little bit of that again, because I just want to add that sort of area in with the colour, you know, when we actually do the finishing touches. So don't be shy to sort of have different ideas and different ways of how you're going to put a card together. So again, I'm just going to do an area down the side. Now you can use a brush to do this. You do what you're comfortable with at the end of the day. So already I've sort of brought together you know, those edges of the forest sort of thing, and that's just with that little stamp there. Now I am going to go, in fact, actually, let me get my little brush. Hello little brush, where are you? Here it is. Now I'm going to get my old Versa. Let me just put that there, and I shall carry on with those in a minute. Now, so this one is my old one, so it's got it on it somewhere. Old, yeah, old, okay. And I use this just for this particular purpose, and that would be just for me putting the additional black areas in for shading, for blocking out areas that need to be blocked out. But I've always got a spare pad just to give me a little bit of depth in other places. Now, while I've got this on the go and I've got this brush, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at my reference picture and I'm going to see where needs to be darker in places. Now, I know here needs to be darker, so I'm actually going to start pulling the picture together, and I'm going to look down, and I know that down here needs to be darker, and I don't want to go too dark with this because I've got to add grey onto it and white, but I need that sort of start area to bring it together to begin with. I hope that makes sense. And then it comes into here, and we're going to go into that water area, but I don't want to cover it because I still want to be able to see, because I've still got to put water and depth into that area there. That tree, remember the tree we put in? So I just want to bring that into the picture now. And then here, when you look at the depth here, we've got a little bit of darkness there, bit here, and then we just want to bring, so again we're tickling the pad because we're using permanent, so just don't forget that you are using permanent ink, and if you're using permanent ink it can go a bit doolally, you know. So I'm going to get my big brush now, really going to go for it, and all I'm going to do now is just fill in these darker areas here, just nice and sort of, not too much but enough that's going to allow me just to do what I need to do on the card. So hopefully you're all following along, because if you've lost track, it's okay, you know, it's easy enough for you to watch again and rewind it, and that's the best thing with catch up. You can go in and out of this as much as you like. And talking of going in and out of things as much as you like, I am going to be doing some online workshops, and they will be available, not just yet because I've got to obviously work on them. I'm just going to put a bit of a storm cloud in this. I might actually put a bit of lightning in. We're all talking about storms and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, there's things are coming. There's things are coming, as the saying goes. Right, let's put that on there. Right, okay. So he's looking quite dramatic now. So let's actually put some oomph into this now. I'm sure you're all thinking, well, it looks very nice anyway, but let's have a play. So first thing I want to do is get my Mondelez. Let's get my Mondelez's watercolor pencils. There we go. Right, so I have got Mondelez watercolor pencils, and then I have got the Gioconda set. Well, I've only got selected amount, but I've got the set on both. So first thing I want to do is actually start putting some depth in with a black pencil, and bear in mind these are watercolor pencils, and if I don't like what's going down, that means I can move it. Okay, so as I'm looking at the picture now, I know that that area is here, so I'm going to bring this area down just a little bit more, and I'm going to bring this area, and I'm going to bring that area over there. I'm going to bring this area down here, and my interpretation and your interpretation will be totally different. You do you. You know, I'm always saying that, but it's true. At the end of the day, you know, you've got to do what you see, how you see it, you know. Forget what I see at the end of it, you know, because I'm going to pick up different details to maybe what you're going to pick up, and then you're going to see things that maybe, oh, I might look and think, oh, I never even seen that, you know. So again, you know, this is why your interpretation and my interpretation may be totally different. But that's what makes us artists in our different ways, yeah? So all I'm doing is just flicking across this sort of water bed. It's sunny in North. Well, crikey, it's not the best here. Wolverhampton's not looking too good, if I'm honest with you. And all I'm going to do now is just bring that additional bit of depth in now, because I'm looking at the reference picture and I'm seeing like bits, dark bits and light bits. The white bits will go on after, but you've got to start putting your layers in now. And I know I'm going to have some rocks here, so I'm just going to do some sort of, well, scribble. I'm just going to say it as it is. It's scribble. So there's my scribbly rocks. And we've got scribbly robs here as well. So let's put that in. And then here, because that then goes round there. How fun. Oh, okay. Now, I always say, you know, obviously we all know each other on here to a degree. But I'm always mindful about personal information and locations. You know, just being mindful of that. Because we don't know who else is listening or watching the comments. So I'm just, you know, being respectful there of our own safety while we're all online together. Because although we might trust the certain people that we're talking to, there might be people in the background that are not as nice as us guys, you know. So just bear that in mind before you're giving out any personal information about locations and stuff like that. I'm always mindful of that. So sorry for jotting onto a conversation there, but I'm just very much about that. Okay, so let's just bring that up. Okay, you live in Narnia? Me too. We're neighbours. I've got the other wardrobe door. I'm at number 2. I like to move it. So you got me dancing now. Right then, so I'm going to go into the light grey. And I'm now going to have a look at sort of where these rocks are going to sort of look like they're going to live. And again, it's just a layer. Because the white, when we start putting the white over it, that's where you'll get your layers. And that's where everything will start pulling together. Okay. So, I'm just going to put a little bit around here. And again, it's like, you know, you do you. You know, tell me to mind my own business and whatnot. There we go. Oh, good. Right. Howdy from Texas. Oh, hello. How are you? Wanda's in the house. Bless her. So, Wanda has some fabulous paints, if you're not aware of it. I am now on the Mondelez watercolour pencils, just to put in some of that lighter areas as I'm looking now on the reference pictures. So as I was saying, Wanda does some beautiful paints. Please feel free to have a look. I don't think you can put your links on the main YouTube, unfortunately, but you can put them in the groups. So you can do them on my page, and obviously in any of the groups that I'm in, just pop them in. Sharing's caring, as the saying goes, isn't it? So again, it's just adding that little bit of different colour and depth that you can sort of see that's going on in there. So I'm just going to add these little bits of darker green. Now I am going to get my watercolour. Let's have a look what we got going on there. Yeah, that'll do. Well, there's already a green in it, sort of thing. And all I'm going to do is just move this around a little bit. And that just gives another depth, because it gives another layer onto what we're working on. And obviously you do your greens and that first, because when you go onto that black colour, that's where it all just goes away. Bless you, but it's distracting. Love you for the mention. Oh, bless you. Well, that's what it's all about. We all support each other in these games. Best way to be. Because if we don't support each other, nobody else supports us. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start just going across this water now, because I will be wanting to put some water, some white highlights through this, just to bring this together. But at the minute, I'm just going to bring that shoreline in to there. Okay, so I need to clean that brush. Hold on. That's a bit better. Let me just get that. Let's see if that's done anything. Look the way you just bless you. You just got to be creative with your stamps at the end of the day. Don't be shy to use your fingers. Don't be shy to use different things. You know, it's all about just creating and just playing around. Right, so now I'm going to get my bleed proof, as you do. And I'm going to start putting a little bit of detail in. Again, we've got more layers to go. So let me just, there we go. So I'm going to use the detailing brush. Now, I'm going to put it into some water. Now, I've already got a blob of the bleed proof in the lid. Bye, Sissy Poos. Love ya. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start adding a little, move that out of the way. I'm going to start adding a bit of detail where the rocks should be and where they're not. If somebody can put either in the Nice Crafting Wonders links so people have got them, that would be good. I just need a little bit of water, so I'm just going to spray a bit of water in the lid. Just one spray is enough. Okay, perfect. And there's a lot of, goodness me, there's a lot of paint in there. Dear. Hate wasting paint, I do. You can probably tell. So all I'm going to do now is just actually see where I'm going to have detail for like the land sort of cut off point and just where the water's going to be. And again, you can look at like detail coming up, you know, where it's going to hit from the starry night sky sort of thing. And as you're going to go down onto these little rocks and coming across, you can add little sort of bounce areas in the water. If you look on your reference picture, and that's the best thing when you've got a reference picture, you can sort of see and think, oh, there's got to be something that's got to be here. There's a bit of white highlights can be there. We can have a bit of white highlight coming down the trunk of the tree here. We can add a pretend trunk there. I can't see a trunk there, but you can now because I've put a white highlight. So don't be shy to even add something that's not even there. So it's all about sort of, I suppose, trickery really, and how you put together your artwork. Okay, I was just trying to catch a conversation then. Terrible, aren't I? Right, so let me just bring that down here, bring that down there, and then I'm just going to skip over down here. Oh, now, see, now, again, if your brush goes like that and you blob off, don't worry about it. So you can do one or two things. You can dab it off, or like what I normally do, let me get a water brush, blend it out. There you go, sorted, done. Now bear in mind we haven't put any greens or anything on this yet, so you're not even ruining anything that's going to go there, because we're going to put green colour and build upon that, because we've got our little layers of tree which we haven't put on. Okay, so where's me, there it is. What I'll do now is I'll look again and now see that I want to sort of put in where the water's going round the corner. So that wasn't there previously, but I actually want to put that area in now. So already it looks like we've got a babbling brook, and this beautiful stag is looking into that babbling brook. So let's actually put a bit of highlight around here. Now, I am just skipping the brush. Now, you've got to be confident to sort of start moving stuff around where you think, oh my gosh, I can't do that, it's going to ruin it or whatever. But please don't, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean to say, do something on a bit of scrap paper first, because I'd rather you do something on a bit of scrap paper first than you go, well, I did have a lovely piece of work until I'd done that bit there, and then Lisa did say do this. Yeah, still can't see anything. Oh, what's that then? Oh, what am I missing? What can't you see? Being nosy now. I'll let the conversation catch up. I'll find you and PM you on phone. There you go then. There you are. Sorted. Okay, so I take it was for the link for Wanda. Okay. So we've got sort of an idea now of, as you look at it now, we've got a banker, we've got the babbling brook. Well, I say babbling brook, it could be quite calm, really. Let's just put a little bit of here and there. And in fact, I don't like that bit there. So while we're at it, let's move it out. There you go. So just remember, just because you put something down, don't mean to say it's got to stay there, okay? Now, the white dots and that we'll play around with in a minute. I do actually want to put some highlights on this gorgeous. Now, you make sure you're confident to actually follow this, because if you're not, don't do it with a paintbrush. Do it with whatever you are confident to do it with, yeah? Because again, I don't want you going, well, Lisa done this, and you know, she done that bit there, and then it was done this, and then it went there, and you know, I've been doing this a long time, yeah? All I want you to do is have a go at things, yeah? And just remember, if you do have a go and you don't like it, you can still take it off. All right? So let me just put a little bit of a shadow line here, and we'll just pop a little bit just down here, that back in there, and back in there. Okay. So now we've got a little bit more depth going on. So let's start thinking about this area here. And I want to start putting that green area in as well. So I'm going to get the Mondelez pencils, and then I'm going to be then using our other one. So I'm going to take that out the way and put that over there. I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to move them out the way. There we go. I'm going to put that in. In fact, I'm just going to get the... Oh, that's it. Dearie me. Honestly, if I had a brain cell, I'd be dangerous. I'm sure of it. So as we're looking now, I have it on speed dial. Love it. It's great when you find a product that you're happy with and that you enjoy. Nothing better, you know. So yeah, it's all about sharing the love of different things and different, you know, we all like different places, shop in different places as well. So it's nice that we all share information, links, etc. But obviously just make sure it's safe to do so. You have my shop, yeah, don't you just? Bless you. Oh, dear me. Right, so now I'm just putting this bit of colour on. Now it's nothing major, as you can see, but it will add that little bit of depth in. And it's just where, remember when we had the black, and we just put like little bits, and all I'm doing is a bit of scribble, realistically, nothing major, and I'm just having that sort of bit of scribble, as you can see, yeah. So I'm just going to put a bit of dark into that. There we go. Now I am going to start now with the white, black and the green. So I am now going to be using, now if you haven't got the Gioconda soft pastels, you can use the pastel sticks if you've got them, or you can continue using your pencils. Okay, your speed dial shop so long. Oh dear me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to start just gently adding. Now there we go, that's it. Sometimes you just need to take the coat off, and just gently just pull around with different bits. It's like everything, unfortunately. Some things don't like going on to certain products, and it's a bit of perseverance, basically. But don't let the card win. It is only a piece of card. That's what I say. There we go. So let me go here. So the lighter one, yes, honestly, there's some gorgeous gorgeous colours. And again, it's all about knowing what your colours do and what your sets do, and then just playing around with them. I mean, you can add so many different highlights, lowlights. Again, it's oh, there you go. It's just, you know, what you're comfortable adding on where, sort of thing. So if you wanted to sort of add real deep sort of highlights of different colours, tones, just go for it. And obviously with it being pastel, you can move it around just so well. And again, I mean, just look how many layers we've got onto this and how now it's changed again. So I'm going to use the black now. Now, obviously it is quite a strong colour, and just be mindful of that. Very strong. Oh dear me. You know, I've done things and I think, oh crikey, and I've ruined things because you just over put things down, and it's like, ah. So please just be mindful of what you are putting down and where. And if something doesn't hit, just think to yourself, well, if it does hit, how much is it going to go on, and is it going to ruin anything? Because I could quite easily ruin an area here. You know, so just keep that in your head, that if it doesn't go straight down because you're on a wax or a product, if it does go down, what's it going to do? Yeah. So just be really mindful of where you're at with it. Okay, so here I'm going to put my inks on to bring it all in. Now let's have a look. Now, you could do this in so many different ways. You can add just round little dots. You could add ink. You can add paint. You can add a gel pen, which we're going to add all of them, so I can just show you all different techniques. So at the minute, these I'm adding obviously a soft pan pastel, beg your pardon, soft pastel pencil. And don't forget, whatever you're putting down, there's got to be a little bit of a reflection going on. Now, your reflection with ours are going to be shifting because obviously it's over water, and there's going to be movement because we've got movement here. And don't forget to sort of add your movement through. And don't worry if it goes on here, because we can take the black out on that. Bring some over here. I want to get those rocks in, which I'm going to do with a pencil. There we go. Okay, so we need some more dark on that around here. But around here, for instance, now where we've got this going on now, because I want that into the background, I can quite easily cover it and just move it out because we want it into the background. Yeah. Now you can also, while you're now covering that, you can then just start to blend it off with that. Now we can now start adding some additional just little dots in places. And this is where you can then look to maybe, when Lisa looks to find what she's looking for over here. Right, we get this and get this. So you can do some little tiny dots. Yeah, just how the sky would be. Oop. And again, you could bring them in behind there, and then whatever you're bringing down, you can add little bits. And again, if you wanted to go around the stag for those highlights, you can do that here as well with this. And again, you can just put in your little added bits of detail, and just where it hits that sort of. What you've got to think about is if you're standing there looking at this magical thing, what are you looking at? You're going to look at the movement of the water, and you're actually seeing something. There's movement there in that sense, yeah? So let me now play along with this. So some of these here are not where I want them to be. And again, I can just move things around with your water brush for whatever you don't like the look of, yeah? So here's got to be darker, so we need the brush basically. So whatever's on my brush now, I am actually going to start looking to bring things in together. Now, if you're not comfortable using a larger brush, use the smaller one. It'll take a little bit longer. But again, we're looking to sort of balance out how the actual card is. Yeah, so that depth area now, because this is the main bit that we want, because everything else should be quite dark on the card. So I'm going to get some black soot. Now, if you wanted to use obviously your elements, you can. Midnight blue, for instance. There we go. And we can pop that on there. We can also bring it on and pop it into here. And again, I'm using the same brush. You know, your brush isn't going to disintegrate. It's not going to self-destruct in 10 seconds. It will survive another day. If I had a brush for every different product I had here, goodness me, I'd have no room to have anything else in here. Can you just imagine that? I mean, that would just be shocking, wouldn't it? Right, so I'm actually going to put some blue over. Oh, hello. Fainted. Stay, little devil. I'm going to put some blue over it, because you can have too much black, and obviously the blue will come over and give another depth. So don't be shy to put that colour over, because I don't want the card just to be a jet black card. I mean, you could actually put you know, any of the greys on here, hickory smoke, anything along those sort of lines. That would look quite nice actually. So let's have a look where we're at. Yay, okay. So let me just see what where we're doing, because on here now I actually want to, so I'm going to re-stamp now on here, and then I'm going to put some white in. So I want to re-stamp some trees. I want to bring those forefront now, because obviously a fresh stamp on there will bring it back to life again. So I actually want to stamp now on the blue. So I am going to use, I'm going to actually use this one. So let me just get my long, that one there. I'm going to put that on. And all I'm going to do now is just stamp, because I just want those last layers. So we've got a lot of layers on here now. I don't want it to go too far down, so I'm just going to put that up as a little reminder for myself. But you can see now that that's actually come to the forefront. So I am actually going to do, let me just, that's the one I want. Ooh, 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 I'm sure there's a song in there somewhere. That's the one that I want. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Right, let's just get a couple of generations on this. So let's just go first, second, stick it down a bit. There we go. Okay, now while that's still wet, I'm now just going to blend off with black, just so that actually blends into the blue, as daft as it seems. So that's actually taken that image into another layer, and it's actually given it that layer which I wanted. And I'm going to do the same just here. So you see how it sort of goes through a transition. And I know it's a bit of a crazy one, and it's probably just a bit like, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, another layer. But that's how we build it up, and that's how you get the cards that you're wanting. You know, the cards that you want with all the fancy layers. Lisa Taggart, Mona, Amanda. You want the layers. This is the process you go through for those layers. So let's get the white on. Let's just bring those trees to life now. Those last little bits. Remember those little detail bits? Let me just get me little. Actually, I'm just going to quickly put on some grass. Just as that layer here. Well, if I don't explain it, you're not learning, are you? So the whole reason that you're sitting through this, watching, is to actually learn how to do it. Instead of watching a process being sped up and you're not listening to anything. I listen to quite a few different artists, and some don't even speak, and you have to guess at what they're doing. And I find that a little bit off-putting, because the whole reason that we're here watching is to learn how to do it. So for me, if I'm breaking it down step by step with you, you've got a damn good chance of actually going away doing it. And then posting and going, look, Lace, I've had a go. Which is the whole point Have you been here? So now look at that. So that's giving it a totally different look, which is what we want. Right, so let me just get a bit of tissue before we have an accident, because you know it's going to happen with me. Right, let me just get that out of the way. Let's try and find some just white paper would be good without. God, there we go. I've got things printed. I do apologise. I've just picked up some printing paper and there we go. Right, so I don't like that. That's too strong for me. So let's just tone this down a second. Let me just wiggle it away. There we go. Right, there we go. So, detail brush. Now, here we go. So let me just, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on here. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because I do have, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I do have too much paint in there. It's a bit of a shame really, but I do like to work out of the palette, but it's okay. We'll do it like this. Now, reference picture. I hope some of you have understood now the importance of getting a decent reference picture, because now you can look and sort of see, maybe, you know, we've got a couple of little flowers and things here. Maybe we can just put a couple of little dots here just to brighten up this area, maybe, you know. I mean, nobody knows what's actually here. So you just doing a couple of random dots, nobody's going to turn around and go, well, what's that? Because you could just say it's just flowers glistening. So along here, obviously, we've got like these like rock areas. So I'm just going to put some like little exaggerated sort of humps that are going up. And I can move them around in a bit with another brush. So again, it's not a case of, oh well what's going on there. At the end of it, we can play around with this area. Yeah. So I'm just going to put a little bit of, just so it looks like there's a rock here, a couple of rocks there. And then let me just get this, let me get the water brush. And all I'm going to do is just move around a little bit of that white. There we go. And while that's drying, I'm going to let that dry naturally. I'm just going to sort of put in just little bits here and there, just so it looks like that sort of glistening area up there is just catching. Now we just put those trees in so I can just roughly see. So I'm just going to just catch, I'm just going to go on off sort of thing here and there. And again, it hasn't got to be perfect. And if you don't like something, you get the brush and you just wipe it off. I've got a couple of branches up here. Now you can put a little bit of white on if you wanted to, and just, you know, see if there's something here that you want to catch maybe. You've got little bits of white there. We'll do that. I'm going to put some more green in there, but I'm going to do that with one of the pencils. And we've got that in here. We've got a couple of little bits here and there. We'll just put those down. And then there's quite a large one here. So I'm going to go from this one and I'm just going to draw just a random. And I'm just skipping it over. And that little light skip has given you the interpretation of the depth of the piece now. Now on here, I do want to add some of the white. So I am going to, God help us now. Yeah, God help us. I'm actually going to take the white off and I'm going to put it onto here. And I am going to squirt on here. Now, you can see that I am circling a bit like toothpaste now. Obviously, it's not toothpaste. And I am going to splatter over. Now, I am going to be very quick with this because I'm not sure how it's going to go down on here. All right, so I am literally, yeah, it's going to go fine. Okay, perfect. So I've got that lovely sort of sky effect now. So less is more, as the saying goes. I have to get some of that now. On Anthony, seriously, at the minute I found some on Amazon. It's £13, and it's brilliant. yeah, just don't clean that. That is my craft-room brush. I promise you, I do not brush my teeth. Mind you, they would be very white, I suppose, if I used it. Yeah, it might be an option. I look like I've gone to Turkey then. I've got turkey teeth in it, but I haven't, so it's all right. So we've got that on there. Now, you can now go back in if you wanted to and start redotting areas if you wanted, just to pull off different areas. If you look and you've got no areas with any sort of dots in and you wanted to just pull that sort of magical sort of scene. If there's any areas that you wanted to do lighter white, now you could go in with your pan pastel if you wanted to. Okay, I haven't used it in it, so I'm not going to do it now, but again, if you wanted this area to be lighter than what it is, let's just move it around with our finger just so it's that little bit lighter. And it's just the same as using a pan pastel realistically. You could also use, if I can find it, if you've just got your sticks. So you could put a stick on and just move it around, yeah? Just so you've got that lighter area there, okay? Talking of the stick, you can just dab here and there if you wanted some more of a pop of a white. And, you know, then you've got to think about fixing, etc., etc., if you're using your sticks, okay? So here, if I wanted to just put like my little bubbly brook, because I know I can move this white as it's a chalk, you know. So there you've got your sort of piece. Now this is a lot lighter than the original, but however I wanted your focus on the stag, and the reason for that there. Now if it's too light for you and you think, oh crikey, Lisa, just drop your pencil. If you think to yourself it's too light and you think to yourself, now I want to put some more darker in, then all you need to do is just add. Now be careful with this, because like I say, when it goes down and it stays down. So, you know, just be mindful of you adding any additional on, and that's why I would always just go in and just roughly go over, you know, in those areas and just shade it out if you need to, in that sense. Not to go too sort of OTT. And if you wanted to just blend and add a little bit of something, and you could do water this way and do it with your pencils and do it that way and blend off those areas. But yeah, so if I just bring that down here now, so these are like your last little finishing touches now realistically. So where you've got your trees, obviously it's going to be a darker area. So this is your watercolour pencil, or whatever you've got. It hasn't got to be. If you haven't got a watercolour pencil, you could use a black Posca pen, put it on, water it, and then put it down, or use your black soot. So you just want to sort of create that sort of area. So we haven't got that here. We've literally got quite a straight area here. I need to sort of, let me just write that into there. There we go. That's it. Sort of looking like we've got a break in the area there. And don't be shy to sort of add a little bit more colour in places if you need to. Just remember, it's your interpretation. None of you can turn around and say, God, Lise, that's not right. That's my interpretation with a stag of that. So you just do you. Do not worry about what anybody else says about your artwork, because I say that you guys have put time and effort into putting on a piece, posting it. So hopefully trying to make it down. Oh, okay, Anthony, that would be great, because we're doing something like this as well. Well, not this particular piece, but yeah, it'll be good if you can join us. That'd be great. We'll do something with lightning just for you. I'll show you how to do a proper good old piece of lightning. Oh, thank you, Trude. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. We're nearly there now. Let's just get these. So just remember, you're you're just going to hit me, you know. I'm sure if you see me, you'll just go, do not mention lightning. Bless you. Sorry. So don't be shy to sort of add your sort of your rocks, your elements, your depth now into the piece, because these are your finishing touches. So this is you showcasing now and putting in the bit what your competitor, or, well, I don't say your competitor, but whoever it is, whatever groups you're posting in, that everybody is, oh, that's lovely, that's nice, and oh, how's she done that, and oh, well, I can do that, and and that's the unfortunate bit of when you're posting in different groups. But you just do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, I'm loving seeing the variety of your work. I love the scope that you're all putting in, and I love how you're all putting it together as well. It's absolutely fabulous. So don't stop, doing those little tweaks and twerks that you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Love it. So I'm just going to blend that with a bit of watercolour now. I'm just going to see where this is going, see how it is. Love the process. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we started, it was a white piece of card, and that's what we've got. But you have to trust the process. A lot of you still can't get your head around the process, but it's okay. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to do a process, but at least I'm showing you different processes. Thursdays will be something different, we'll maybe do something, I don't know. I'll have a look, see what pictures I find, see what floats my boat in that sort of in that way sort of thing, so we'll see. We will see. Okay, so I'm thinking, what do you reckon? Do you think that's about done? Happy with that? I'll see what you guys say, see if you want me to add anything else anywhere else. Stunning as always. You're very welcome, Sylvia. It's lovely to have you back on, to be fair, sweetie. Absolutely fabulous. Lisa, thank you. Oh, bless you. Fabulous. So, there we go. I'll matte and layer it, obviously. I'll just make sure that there's nothing else that's needed tweaking. Let me just put that there, get that out of the way. But yeah, hopefully you're all happy, and you've understood it, and you can have a go. That'll be good. Love what's that. Ah, brilliant, Trudy. That's the main thing. It's helpful. You know what I mean? So let me just shift things out the way. And then you can see the 3 different cards from the same technique. So let me, oh crikey, let me just grab a piece of decent paper. Honestly, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Right, okay, so we've done this one just, okay. Good night, everybody. Yes, nighty nighty. These are the ones I matte and layered prior. So that was my first attempt. Then I got Adventurous and popped a fairy on. And then we popped a stag on tonight. So as you can see, they're all similar but different. Okay? So do your version, all right? And it's all off one reference picture. And you could even change the colours, yeah? So please give me a thumbs up. Please comment, please like, please share. Again, everything I do now moving forward, I will break it down to easy follow ways with you. All right, if you've got any questions or anything, PM me. My Facebook is Lisa Magical Maker. You're more than welcome to message me and message once this has gone on catch up. Send me a message on the chat on catch up and I'll get back to you. But there's another one. Okay, so fairy, an animal, that was done from white card. Do you ship to the States? I do, but obviously there's shipping. If people want to pay for the shipping, I have no problem sending. I've sent stuff to America and Canada, so I have no problems sending things to America. But it's just the people have to pay the shipping costs. So that's down to the person particularly. But yeah. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for, oh bless you. I'm so glad you've enjoyed this. I will matte and layer this. I only got to the first tree line. It's all right, Susan, don't worry. I'll matte and layer it and then I'll post it in obviously the relevant groups. Another take obviously on those 2. I don't like saturating things, but might as well post it out there, isn't it? So love you all. I'm just going to turn off. I'll let you view that. And obviously I've just got to finish it off and dry it off properly. So thank you all on Insta. Great stuff for you watching, and see you all soon. So I'm just going to end now. There we go. View insights. I don't know with that bit. That's that done and dusted. And then you guys, let's have a look. Oh, Annette, hello. Ross, hi. Natalie, Joe, Nicole, Anthony's doing double bubble. Hi, Jane. Sorry I didn't say hello to you. Renata, hello. Maggie, hi. Who else we got? Oh, there we go. Leslie, Denise, and Ross. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. And again, there's the creative card that we've just done. I'm going to mat and layer it and just finish it off properly, and then I'll post it in the relevant group. So I'll see you all soon, sweetie. I'll see you, Annette. If you're wanting to do, before I do go, if you're wanting to do a workshop with me this Saturday to do something very similar to this with me, I'm at Crafty Corner in Aspidella Zeus, and that's Crafty Corner, Annette's lovely shop. It's a fabulous place for workshop, loads of lovely stuff to buy as well. So I am available this Saturday. I think there's a couple of spaces left on that, so I'm going to say bye bye to you guys on Facebook. So toodly pip, that's you guys gone. So all that's left is you guys, you lovely guys. Let me just take you down and give you the rerun of everything I've used. Ending broadcast done. There we go. So there you go. I must say the stack does look very stunning, to be fair. So let me just pop them up like so. There we go. Yeah, nice. So, oh, hi Pauline. How are you, my sweet? Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you've not missed too much. If not, catch up will be available shortly. Let's put it like that so we can see. There we go. So there's the 3 versions of the same sort of thing, and it's just taken off that reference. So if you can start using reference pictures, your work will change. As you can clearly see, I've done 3 totally different pieces, but the same. And each piece has got a different bit of depth because I've obviously done them differently. So hopefully this will take you to your next level in your creative journey. And if there's anything at all, don't hesitate. Personal message me. Send me a message. I'm happy to help guide you in any way. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up, and I shall see you all very, very soon. So I will see you Thursday. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll find something very nice so you can all follow along. All right. So take care, and I'll see you Thursday at 7 o'clock. Bye.